Hello and welcome back to Talking Shit with a Yank and a Brit and an Aussie.
Hey!
We have got my lovely friend Claire. So, how are you, Claire? How's things?
Good, yeah. Obviously I don't talk to you all that often anymore, so I'm sure a lot of things are new. I don't know.
I don't even know
what I am going to
is.
say is I don't want to rub this in. I'm actually really hot, so if I'm dabbing my top lip, it's because I'm sweating.
What's the temp there right now?
So today, we've just gone into spring, so it's starting to creep up a little bit. I think today we got to 32.
Damn.
But with that, especially in spring, my hay fever is horrific. So that just makes it feel like it's 82 degrees, 32. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grim. Well, I'm slightly jealous because it's cold here now.
It's cold.
I know, but you've had a lovely summer.
No, we haven't really. It's been shit.
I thought you had a really every time I spoke to my dad on the phone, he's like, "Oh, it's very hot here today." I'm like, "Okay, I'm not jealous, but."
No, it's been pretty shit. I think the hottest we had was like 25.
So it's my
last
dad
weekend.
It's my dad lying to me.
Yeah, he's just being really British and thinking that 20 degrees is really hot.
Yes,
when it's not.
Yes. I have heard about the heat waves though, so there you go.
Yeah, we had one last year where we got like nearly 40 degrees, Claire. Can you believe it?
Was that when we were here for the wedding?
No, I'm thinking maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Maybe it was last year. I'm sure it hasn't been that long since I spoke to my dad. Maybe it has.
Sorry, Dad. I'll call you later. For context, it's 9 degrees here right now. Or for our listeners who don't use Celsius, it's 48 degrees.
That's so confusing.
I know it is. It's bad.
I don't like that.
I don't like that. It's like 1,000,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
It is funny, though, that we're basically entering autumn, but that's your spring because obviously your seasons are the opposite of ours. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. So when our first day of summer, I think would be your first day of winter, maybe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's really hot Christmases, which I'm so used to now. When we first moved over here, it was like, this is not like Christmas. I just could not get my head around it. But yeah. And the kids want to see snow, and I'm like, mate, I'm not going back to the UK to sit in fucking freezing cold snow when your toes go numb, and it's just not a fun time. Nah.
No, it's not really.
It doesn't even get that cold here. You guys are such wimps.
Yeah, so in Minneapolis, they have like...
Oh, we had so much snow last year. We, I think, ended up having 90 inches over the course of the winter. Yeah.
It's a lot of snow.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and it gets real cold. It gets real cold. But
Yeah,
I get it. Like, I think if you don't have snow, you miss it. And if you do have snow, you hate it, right?
Yeah.
I took the kids ice skating a while ago and sitting watching them, and my toes were hurting, but they were numb at the same time. And it just took me straight back to those winter days. I was like, nah, I'm not going back ever.
Yep, fair. So you and I just met for the first time just now, but I feel like I've heard a lot about you since I've, gotten to know these folks. But you and Gemma go way back, right?
We go way back.
We've got quite a few stories to tell.
Yeah, I want to hear this. What embarrassing stories do you have about Gemma?
We met at Beacon, hey? Was it Beacon?
Yeah.
Because you didn't come to, we weren't at primary school together. That's when I was with Laurel.
Laurel, yeah, fuck. What primary did you go to?
I went to St. John's.
St. John's, that was it.
What's that road called? I don't even know now. St. John's Road. Yeah, there you go.
Simple. I love it.
There you go. And
so
then
you were born in the UK, though, right?
Yeah. So I was born there, and then lived. I had honestly, when I think back to when Lily's age, I would have been. Oh, I think she's a year younger than what I was when I moved out here, and I feel like I lived whole life over in the UK. Like the stuff I'd lived an adult life before I turned 15, 100%.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, we started, drinking and smoking and, getting drunk in fields at like, I don't know, 13.
Yeah, it's not when I think back, I felt older, but then looking back, I was like, shit, it would have started around 13, I reckon.
Yeah.
So what this
and
tells
I don't know if
me
we're allowed
is,
to say, hey.
Oh yeah, go ahead, say it.
No, I was gonna say I don't know. I won't mention any like locations and public houses, but we used to go to a certain pub, and they all knew we were underage, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they were like, raid, and then we'd all go behind the bar because we knew the cops were coming, and that was so good. I remember the first time I ever went though, because I looked a lot younger than like our group of friends, and I remember you and a couple of the girls would go to this public house, and they were like, Claire, you can't come, you look too young, and I was like, that is really mean. And then one time you did let me go. I was sitting at the table and I was like this, and I was like,
biting your nails.
Yeah. And they're like, Claire, be cool. You're making like everyone look at us. And I was like, okay. And then after that,
you guys are mean to her.
It was mean.
Do you know what I remembered the other day?
Wow.
So when we used to dress one of us up as a French person, go and knock on people's doors and pretend to be French.
My mum.
Why?
Because we thought it was. Hang on, I've got people. Because we thought it was. There's not a lot to do in the UK, Kate. Like we have to make our own fun, and that was really fun. And we'd even had like a little French dictionary. We'd walk around, and they would knock on the door, and we'd be like in the French dictionary, we'd be like, oh, hello.
How long have you lived here? And then one time we knocked on the door of a guy that spoke fluent French.
Yes, he did, and he was asking us. I think you might have been the French person, and he was asking like, "Paddy," and you were just like, yeah.
The north of Bali. He's like, oh, whereabouts? Speaking to me in French. Yeah. And I was like, fuck.
So what this is telling me is that I initially thought you guys would not have been my friend because you would have been the cool girls. But now that I'm hearing this story, I think that maybe I would have not been your friend.
Yeah. I just wish that we could still get all those tapes that we used to make Big Brother tapes in your old house.
I have still got them. My dad's got them.
Yeah, you have to find them. We used to go to like they're called op shops here. I don't know, like charity shops. And we used to interview. We used to pretend we were doing a school project, and we would interview a lot of ladies, pretending it was a school project. We were just like ripping the piss out of them. It was so bad, so bad. It was fun.
It was good fun.
So you'd ask questions like, "Do you want your muffin buttered?"
No, I don't think.
Sure.
I think they were asking proper questions, but it wasn't. They thought, because they were trying to be real. They're like, "Oh, should I stand here? Is this okay?" We're like, "Yep, there's a great background," and we were just like, "Yeah, it was funny, funny."
We used to take the piss. Oh, it was fun. And then one day, Claire and her family, her mum, went to Australia for a fucking holiday. Claire's mum met a fucking man over there, came back, and then they were like, we're fucking moving.
I was going to ask how that happened.
And then at the end of the year, fuck off.
I know. So when we came out on holiday here, I think it was a space between coming out on holiday over Christmas, 10 months later, we were living out here. But you might remember this more than me, Jem, because I don't know if I was traumatized and I've blocked it out of my memory, but I don't ever remember it being... I remember the journey to the airport and everyone coming to the airport. That was horrific. But once we moved here, I was 15, so it was a pretty like delicate age, but I don't ever remember it being awful. Like, is that bad? Should it have been awful?
I was going to ask, were you really upset?
I was gutted, yeah. And I remember for a while we were writing letters to each other to keep in touch, because obviously we didn't have mobile phones then. Or good mobile phones, anyway.
My beloved Claire, it's been 14 years since I've seen your face.
Pretty much.
I wish I'd kept the letters, actually. But I remember for the first year, you hated it I think because you sort of hadn't made friends and that. And then you came back the year after you moved, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And we like partied at Charlie's house.
That was because so Jenny, my sister, like absolutely fucking hated it here because she was a bit older than me, so she wasn't really going to school. So she was going to move over to England. And I had to come over. I had to leave Australia for 24 hours or something anyway to restart her visa.
Oh, right.
So then me and Jenny came over on our own, didn't we?
Oh, was it on your own? I don't
it was just me and Jenny were coming over, on our own. Mum stayed here. See you, Mum.
Bye. Yeah, and that was
the hard move, though, I think. Just even if you were kind of up for it, I just feel like that would be hard because, I imagine the journey is a bit of a bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was like...
Hey?
Sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say that you meant the physical journey because that's why I haven't come back again because it was not okay. I could not sit there again in the aeroplane. I mean, I will one day, I promise, but not yet.
I mean, I've done it, and I don't blame you because it was one of the worst journeys of my life. Can't sleep on planes.
First class.
Yeah, basically. If someone said you can have a private jet where you can like basically have a full bed and a full bathroom, and I totally would then. But the reality is I don't know if I'll ever make it over there because I can't be on a plane that long.
No thanks.
My nan still comes out every year. The only time she didn't come out was obviously with COVID. Yeah, she's 91 now, and she comes over every year. But she comes like business class, so she has her own like little bed and stuff. So she's sweet. She loves it.
Yeah, nice. Good on her.
Yeah.
Yes, good on her. She loves it. Yeah.
So your dad stayed here.
Yeah.
So a little bit about me is I do work with families who have kids and they're separated, right?
Yeah.
And it sounds like your parents were just like, yeah, we're going to do this. And your dad's like, I'll see you, when I see you.
Pretty much. So my dad wasn't, I don't know, I won't share this with him because I don't really want to listen. Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I don't know. So we didn't really grow up. Well, we sort of did grow up with my dad, but he worked in London, so he would only come down the weekends and stuff. So we were kind of used to not living with him. And then they separated, and then Mum met my now stepdad. They're still together and happily married on a blind date. And then she had to come back and she obviously asked my dad if it was okay, but you know what? My dad actually thanks himself. He's like, you know what? If it wasn't for me, you guys wouldn't have all this here. And we're like, huh? Pretty sure my mum wouldn't see it like that, but whatever.
That is some special mental gymnastics. Good for him.
Well done, you.
He's a bit like that, but yeah. So, and then he gets a free holiday every year when he wants to come out. So, he does have to live with my sister when he's here. So that's not so great for him. But I don't have a spare room, so too bad. He'd always come to my house for a bit of shelter.
I can't believe your mum and Dean are like still together.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, they're going strong. I know.
What, your parents don't get married 3 times like mine?
We met on holiday, and then they were like engaged after like 2 weeks, weren't they? And then
and he's younger than her, like 8 years younger. But they're still still like. Yeah, he's 8 years younger than Mum. Yeah,
sure.
They're actually they're cool. They're just
that's a cute story actually.
That is pretty. Yeah, it's quite romantic actually when you think about it. I hated it at the time though. I was like, bloody Dean.
Yeah, Dean ruins everything.
Ruined my life. Dean.
Do you remember Mum and Dean's engagement party, and we weren't there for all the speeches and stuff?
Yeah, what were we doing?
So Dean came over to England, and we were like just about to move, and it was an opportunity for Dean to meet like my mum's dad and stuff. And he was so nervous one night. We had so many people there in our back garden. It was beautiful. And my mum said to me the whole day, just make sure you're here for the speeches. I was like, yeah, I'll be here for the speeches. That's fine. And something happened. Me and Gemma must have been on the
just doing girl stuff.
Yeah, and then we thought, why are we sitting at my house? We have like a whole town we can go walk around right now. So we did. We came back and we were absolutely shit-faced, and we had missed everything, like missed the speeches, missed everything. So yeah, that was fun. Then Jenny's like, my sister's like, "Where were you? I told Mum you were going to leave," and I was like, "Well, it was more fun out there than it was here."
Oh
yeah.
shit!
I only had a
Teenagers.
small window of time to get everything, to have fun. So
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
take
Got to get it in.
opportunity.
It's about me, Mom. Sorry.
Yes, exactly. It's all about me.
I'm curious to know, like, what were some of the biggest culture shocks or things that you experienced in that move that you, like, either was different or things you missed about the UK or you thought was maybe better in Australia? Any kind of things like that?
I feel like when I went to school, I mean, I'd never been to America, but coming over here and seeing all like the street signs and stuff, I thought it was very American. Just from what I've seen off movies and stuff. And when I found out I didn't have to wear uniform at school, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Like, I'm actually in America right now. But I don't know, like, maybe just the whole lifestyle. It's obviously the biggest thing I think is different.
It is so different.
Yeah. It's so normal to me now, so I don't really...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I miss though? One thing I miss about England, like one of the biggest things, is the TV. English TV is Australian TV is shit. And I pay a lot of money to watch it, like all the UK dramas and UK Gogglebox is my favourite. I love it.
So do I.
So I think that show is weird, I have to say.
Oh,
that's the one where people are sitting and commenting on the TV they're watching, right?
Yeah, you're watching people watch telly.
What?
We can watch it.
I mean, I've seen it, and I'm just like, oh, okay.
But I feel like you, like if you watch it, especially the ones that like your favourite sort of couples and friends and stuff, you feel like you're in the lounge room with them, watching TV with them, and they're just your friends.
Yeah.
And it's just normal people, or is it like reality TV people watching other reality TV?
No, it's just normal people. They do like a
celebrity-ish one
version.
Yeah, okay.
Which is also quite fun. Yeah, it's really good. It sounds weird, but
it sounds very weird, and it is weird, but I guess I could see the appeal.
We've got an Australian one, and I looked at it and it came onto the on the TV as an ad, and I was like, oh my God, this would be the worst thing ever. But as soon as you watch, I mean, the Australian one's not as good as the UK one, but watch it, Kate, and I guarantee you'll like it.
Well, I probably will, because I think I've talked on this podcast before about some of my fascination with British TV, like Naked Attraction, which is now available on HBO Max. I was like, the whole series, oh my God, I'm going to watch so many naked people when I get home.
Yeah, I find that weird. I've seen bits of Naked Attraction on Gogglebox.
Yeah.
Why?
I know. Why? Don't get it, but more power to you, I guess.
But
I would rather die. I would rather die than do that, for sure.
I know. Who was doing that?
I don't know. Clearly a lot of people, because it's a whole TV show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How desperate have you got to be to go on a show and get your foo-foo out?
Yeah.
Or your
and
willy.
they're not pretty foo-foos. Yeah, and they're not pretty.
Not. And then have someone judge you for it. Like, that one doesn't look nice, so I'm going to go. You might have a nice personality, but I hate the look of your minge, so bye.
I feel like you need to get to know someone, because then surely the personality will take over from the ingrown hairs that you can clearly see. Oh, it's so gross. It's not all right.
Okay, so you missed the TV, which at least in this day and age you can get access to that, so that's good. But because I talk so much about food, I got to know, like, is the food better there? Is it the same? I know that Australia, kind of, well, it was basically British people went there, right? And so I like to say it's the Texas of Britain because of the accent, which is not appropriate, I know. But I view you guys as having like a Southern British accent. But then I'm also like, does that just mean everyone eats fish and chips there and has a lot of tea or what?
Yeah. We have fish and chips. Oh, do you know what I miss? Indian. It is so hard to find a good Indian over here. There is one just like 5 minutes away, and it's called Spicy Flavors. Shout out! I want some free food. They're probably the best. They're the best Indian restaurant, but they're not everywhere like they are in the UK. Fish and chips. I don't really like fish and chips. We've got it. There's definitely no. I hate it when people think Australians say shrimp on the barbie.
Oh yeah,
it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. There's no
Why not?
because it's just, I don't know.
I give up.
It doesn't.
I quit. My world is destroyed now. We're done. We're done here, Claire.
No one ever said. I mean, they might say. I mean, Travis, my husband, would say, "Do you want some snags on the Barbie?" Which are sausages. But I wouldn't. Yeah, but I don't use that sort of. I still say crisps for chips. So.
So, is it the same in America then, that crisps are chips and chips are fries?
So I would say hot chips for fries.
Hot chips. Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and then chips, like a packet of chips. But I still say, sometimes I'll say chips, but usually I'll say crisps and stuff. So yeah, but food I reckon is the same. It's the same. We've still got Macca's. We've got Hungry Jack's rather than Burger King, which is exactly the same. Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So I was talking to someone about this the other day because I was like, I don't understand why Burger King isn't Burger King in Australia. And apparently it's because when Burger King came over to Australia, there was a guy who ran like a little burger store.
Just one single guy.
Burger King. And they wanted to like buy the name off him, but he refused. So Burger King had to change their name to Hungry Jack's.
Wow. So there is a little Burger King. So there's a little Burger King somewhere in Australia running on its own. Okay.
Yep. I wonder if it's still open.
Wonder if it's famous.
I'm going to Google it.
Look.
Let me Google it while we're here.
Do a little research. I'm just looking. Okay, so you do say Barbie though, right? Instead of barbecue?
Yeah. So, hey guys, we're having a Barbie. Do you want to come to my Barbie? I don't know. Yeah, Barbie.
Because you guys call it like a grill off, right?
I mean, when we say barbecue, we don't say we're having a barbecue, really, because barbecue is a type of food for us, which I know it is for you guys too, but we'll just say, we're grilling out or we're just having some people over to grill, We're
having a grill.
Yeah. Well, we'll say grill out.
Grilling out.
We're grilling out. Did you find it, Claire? Does he still exist?
I did. Do you know what it says? It says you will not find a Burger King in Australia because it's the only place in the world where Burger Kings are called Hungry Jacks. When Burger King got to Australia in 1971, it was discovered that there was already a local restaurant called Burger King. There you go. Well done, Gemma.
Someone should have, before McDonald's went over there, someone should have opened a restaurant called McDonald's.
Yeah.
And just that would have been so funny.
You could pay me $12 million to take the name from me.
It's literally just my kitchen. I just call it McDonald's and I registered it and I don't make anything. I just have this. That would have been smart.
I think McDonald's is like universal. I don't think if you went to a different country. I mean, we've got, when we did come to Australia, England, McDonald's in Dubai, the chicken nuggets taste exactly the same. The chips taste the same, which is weird.
They mass produce them everywhere, don't they?
Yeah.
It's
it's just a sludge that I think they like just push a button and then it just forms into the nugget.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really gross, actually.
Don't ruin it for me. I like them.
Oh, it'll be fine. I mean, you can eat it for years.
It's real chicken breast that's just fresh from the farm.
100% real chicken breast. That actually makes me think of, so I'm from a state called South Dakota, and we had a restaurant that was called Graham's, and I think it was named after a famous golfer named Graham who was Australian, and so they tried to like name all the food after like Australian terms, and chicken was chook, right? I think is that accurate? Yeah, okay. So it'd be like
but I wouldn't say
crispy chook salad.
Yeah, so someone might say, "Oh, I'll just get a hot chook from," because we've got. I don't know if you've got over there. We've got someone called like Red Rooster in Chicken Treat, where you can buy like cooked chickens, like full roast chickens. So they might just say, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna grab a cooked chick." But I wouldn't say, "Hey guys, do you want chook for dinner?" I would say chicken.
Yeah, I figured it was probably a very extreme version of what people in South Dakota think Australians say and eat, but it was so funny because it felt very fancy and foreign when I was like 12. I also have here that you don't call it a break, you call it a smoko, but even if you don't smoke, you still might take a smoko, right?
So that's usually like the blokes will say. So if they're on a building site, they'll have smoko, which is like morning tea, I suppose. And then up on the mine sites and stuff, they say smoko. So yeah, it's not a lunch break. It's like a smoko break. But I would never use that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I've never heard that before. One that got me that I really enjoy is fair dinkum.
Yeah, they're like the old school, the old men. You say that kind of stuff, like I think Travis's dad says that a couple. I mean, he doesn't say it. I think I would slap him if he said fair dinkum. I'd be like, yeah, that's an ick.
Suddenly not attracted to you anymore. We're divorcing. There you go, Travis. Don't say it.
I guess it kind of means like fair enough.
Fair dinkum. Yeah, fair enough. Fair dinkum. Or if someone tells a story and they're like, fair dinkum, I'm like, yeah, fair dinkum, like it's true.
I see here that you might call me a seppo, which is based on septic tank.
What Australians would call what you did you say?
An American. It says seppo, and it's slang.
No, we say yank.
Okay, well, yeah, yank is on here too.
We call.
I would never call you a septic tank ever.
Okay,
that's
well,
nasty.
you could. I would allow it because I think we're friends now. But it is just, it's like, oh my God, you must really hate Americans if that's your nickname for us.
I remember when I went out, like we got called poms a lot.
Yeah,
I
don't hear that. Yeah, I hate that. So people try and call me a pom, and although I'm quite, proud to be English, but I'm not I hate that word, pom. It's just, I don't.
What does it even mean?
Prisoner of Her Majesty.
Oh, it's an acronym.
Oh, yeah. I did not know that. Okay, interesting.
But going back to what you just said about maybe people kind of referring to you as being English, which I know you are, but you fully sound Australian.
Do I? Well, obviously I don't hear myself a lot, but when if I've just met someone after I've spoken to them for a while, they might say, "Are you English?" Or maybe a little twang of English. I don't know.
Yeah, so I remember when I came over, the Aussies thought you sounded really British, but I was like, no, you sound full on Aussie now.
But you also think Sean sounds pretty American these days, doesn't he?
No, he's still got a British accent though.
Yeah, but I mean, I think maybe it's more about the words too.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But I also think you sound Australian. I mean, but I suppose people who hear you and live there and are from there probably can pick up on the things that maybe you and I can't.
Yeah, like the little British twangs.
Yeah.
Do you know what? There's one thing I say, and I always think, oh my God, that sounds so English. But it's the way I say it, and I can't say it in an Australian way at all. Oh, at all. That's it. That's what I was going to say.
All.
So if I say, I don't think it's cold at all. When I say at all, I think it sounds really English. Oh, it's not cold at all.
How do the Aussies say it? At all?
It's not fucking cold, mate. Like,
they don't even use it. It's not even part of their vocabulary.
It's not fucking
cold. Oh, okay. So what stereotypes are true, do you think?
Are true?
Yeah.
I think the Aussie blokes have a bit of a stereotype of being
fighting around the world.
Yeah, just a bit. I don't know, just like laid back, and most of them are like larrikins. I don't know. Do you say that? Is that an English word, larrikin?
No.
Like,
what is it?
Larrikin.
Like just a chill dude.
Yeah, I think most of them are so that's probably the only thing. It is a pretty chill lifestyle. But like misconceptions and stuff, we do not say, as I said before, we do not say shrimp on the barbie, and we do not drink Foster's beer. I've never seen Foster's beer in the bottle shop ever.
Interesting.
So, yeah.
So I think it's an English beer that we just market to be Australian.
Even made there. I don't even think they sell it here. I don't think it is.
No.
It's from Manchester. It's produced by Heineken.
That's right. Funny. There you have it.
There you go. Enough said.
Okay.
What I do like about Australian people is how you just abbreviate everything.
It's true.
So, like...
Sunnies. Becky.
Yeah. I mean, we do that as well, but I think that's come
do,
over from Australia. Because I listen to quite a few Australian podcasts. I can't think of any fucking examples now, though.
They're quite lazy in their speech, I suppose. So, like, instead of saying this afternoon, they might say the Savo.
The Savo, yeah.
Evo.
I can't think of anything else, really. What did you say, sorry?
Prego. I'm just looking at this list here. Yeah. Well, and you say good day. You don't say good day. Good day.
Good day.
Do people actually say that?
Yeah. I think like older people say that. Or if Travis is being a smart ass when the kids come out, he might be like, good day. I'm like, Travis, Bill, again, enough with the ick.
Let's just bitch about our significant others right now.
Yeah, I think it's more like the older generation that say those sort of things, like g'day, g'day, mate, and that kind of stuff, yeah.
What about banana bender? Do you know what that is?
No.
Someone from Queensland, which is there like beef with Queensland?
Banana bender.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so. We lived in Queensland for 6 months, and I don't think there was much beef, really. Sorry. Next.
Oh, it's okay. I guess it just goes to show you can't believe everything you read on the internet.
What about like struth?
No, not really. That would be something that Alf would say on Home and Away. Oh, flaming Ada. Like.
What about bloody oath?
Bloody oath, yeah. I don't say it, but yeah, mostly blokes would say, "Oh, bloody oath," just like, yeah, it's true. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's bloody oath, mate.
Bloody oath.
Do you say crikey, or is that kind of an exaggeration?
Steve Irwin used to say crikey.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think crikey died with Steve Irwin, to be honest.
Was he as beloved there as he is in the US? I think people were genuinely sad about him.
Not really. When we were over in Queensland, we went to Australia Zoo, and his face is just everywhere. But I don't think, I don't, it wasn't a thing.
All I took from that is don't swim with stingrays.
We have so many stingrays here, and he must have been trying to do something dodgy with that stingray because they will just swim off. Like, it was obviously defending himself. I mean, I'm sorry to everyone who loves Steve Irwin. God bless his soul. But I don't, unless it was a different, like a vicious stingray. We have stingrays here and the kids swim with them all the time. So, I don't know.
Well, there you go.
If anything, I think I actually don't really know much about him, but I think he did things to like teach people about animals, right? But like we all knew you shouldn't be doing the same shit. Yeah, don't do the shit he does, right? Like don't stick your hand in an alligator's mouth.
Yeah, don't wrestle an alligator. Yeah, it's kind of common sense.
Well, that was the ultimate lesson, wasn't it? Like, do not swim with stingrays. And now he's gone.
So, but that's another thing about Australia that, aside from the flight, freaks me out about going, because I feel like there's so many things in your environment that just can fucking kill you just walking down the street. That's what they've dropped there.
That really upsets me when people think that. Do you know what? I've been here for nearly 20 years, and do you know how many times I've seen a live snake? Twice. I mean, they're around, they're down the road, they're here, they're there, but you just don't see them unless you're walking in the bush in the middle of summer. But that's just your own fault. Why are you walking in the bush in the middle of summer? Redback spiders. And did you say drop bears? Please tell me you know that drop bears aren't real.
They're not real? Okay, I was looking at a Reddit post and people kept talking about drop bears, and I was like,
drop bears?
Well, that's the thing is I don't know what that is.
No, so okay, so drop bear. So if you came over here and you met some sort of smart ass that's, oh, you're not from here, be careful of the drop bears. They're these bears that drop on you when you're in the woods. It's bullshit. They're just trying to make you guys
literally. You guys are just fucking with foreigners with that. That's what it is. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Yes. And they would see you coming a mile away, and my kids like try and say it now. I'm like, You do realise I was here before you even born. I know what a drop bear is. It's not even real. Please do not worry about the insects and stuff. Like, that's why we've had some family members don't want to come out because they're worried they're going to get killed.
Mate, you do have massive spiders.
Well, the story you told me about her daughter walking in with...
Oh, yeah. Do you remember when I came over and Lily was very young and came in with a dead black widow? I was like, look what I found.
It would have been a redback. We don't have black widows out here, but a redback spider. But do you know what? I haven't seen a huntsman for years. I cannot remember the last time I saw one. Hey, we get our house sprayed for spiders and stuff, and they just don't come in.
Yeah. Well, so now we're clearing the air then for everybody who listens. Thousands upon thousands of people. You heard it here. Australia won't kill you. The animals aren't going to kill you. There's no such thing as drop bears.
You do have shark attacks every now and then, though. Come on,
in America. I mean, that happens on the coast, right?
Don't have it here in England, though. Much safer here.
So I'll give you that. There are sharks. I mean, I don't not go out in the ocean above my waist. I'm always we got like a boat. So if we go out in the boat, if I was absolutely busting for a wee, I might jump into a wee. And I'm fearing for my life every single second. So yeah, sharks are a big one. But I mean, look at statistics and stuff and the chances. You're pretty fucking unlucky to get chomped by it. I mean, it happens, but just don't surf. You should be fine.
I mean, we know that the ocean is not to be taken for granted, and we have shark attacks. Like there was one, I think, somewhere off the East Coast not long ago.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. I mean, it happens.
I mean, I remember when I came out to Australia, I hadn't gone in the sea for like 10 years. Because when I was younger, I got stung by a jellyfish in Spain. So after that, I was like, not going in the sea anymore. Fuck that. And do you remember we went down south and we stayed somewhere and went to that beautiful beach.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going in the sea. It's terrifying. Even though it was like the clearest waters you've ever seen in your life. And your kids were like swimming really far out. And I was like, I feel like a massive pussy. I'm going to have to go. So I swam in the ocean for the first time.
I mean, yeah, because I think if you're going to be deep enough for a shark to get you, then you need to sort of respect the shark as well. Like, you know, I never put myself in that situation, so I don't really have any sympathy. But we do get jellyfish and stuff, and nothing's going to kill you. Well, we actually go on holiday quite a bit. We've just come back from Exmouth, which is the most amazing place ever. And they've got things called stonefish, which are fish that look like rocks. And that's the only time I sort of second guess going in the water up there, because
are they the ones that like ping up and like fuck
that will kill you.
Oh shit!
Just wear some really attractive reef shoes with a nice skimpy bikinis and then reef shoes, and you'll be fine.
Yep. Well, so that I thank you for correcting me, and now that is not something I will be concerned about if I ever make it to Australia. Okay. That I will have a bird attack me or a spider fall.
Do you know what's really cool? Like, so you know, like over here, how we have like a fuckload of pigeons.
Yeah.
Over there, it's like parrots.
Oh yeah.
Which I found very exotic
in France, because I think someone just is like letting their
they do have them in London now. There's loads of random parakeets just flying around London. But yeah, you just have a lot of exotic birds.
Yeah, we've got cockatoos and things like that, but they're fucking noisy. You hear them go like, they look beautiful, but they do not sound beautiful.
Also, your crows are super aggressive.
Yeah, and they sound
no, the
awful.
Magpies, isn't it?
Yeah, so the magpies swoop you. There's swooping season here between September and November. And just be careful, like where you're walking through the bushes and stuff. And around those times, you'll see people riding their bikes with helmets on with like cable ties. Try and stop them, but they don't look stupid.
How do the crows know that that's swooping season? Is it mating season and they're protecting nests? Is that really what it is, or
the magpies? Yeah. So it's usually it's like the male magpies. But I've also heard that if you go walking and there's a resident magpie and they see you often enough, they won't actually swoop you because they trust you. which I have heard some
cute.
truth to as well. Yeah, I've got some friends that go walking their dog every day and they never get swooped.
So you can, like, I've read stories about people befriending crows. You leave them little,
I really want to do that.
Like food and stuff.
Yeah.
They start to trust you. They bring you gifts. You can teach them to bring you money.
Yeah,
They can talk as well, crows. Did you know that?
No.
They're like parrots. You can teach them to talk. It's fucking
really
crazy. I'll send you a
clever,
video.
Yeah. I mean, I think some birds are really dumb. Pigeons, I think we know, are dumb.
Yeah,
but crows
chickens are quite
smart.
dumb.
Yeah. So you guys, I'm sure you have seagulls there, considering you know, live on, you know, you're coastal. But it sounds like the magpies could be the equivalent of you have a bag of chips and
The seagulls.
yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, no. So that would be seagulls with the seagulls. We actually went out. We went out for lunch the other day, like at a brewery, and it's on the water and stuff, and it's beautiful. But then they started handing out these spray bottles, and it says seagull spray, just to spray these seagulls. I was like, "What's in there?" And I was like, "Is it going to kill them?" He's like, "No, it's just water, but it's really fun." And I was waiting for one to come, but it didn't come.
That's actually smart.
I think the seagulls here are either bigger or smaller than the ones in the UK. I can't remember which way around it is.
Oh, really? Ours are quite big. So if they're bigger than ours, they're fucking massive.
Maybe I was a little then. Yeah, can't remember.
I bet they're smaller because your seagulls get fed fish and chips so much that they're just fat. And like they eat squirrels. Remember when we saw that?
Yeah.
Of seagull eating the squirrel?
Yeah.
A seagull eating a squirrel.
Yeah.
They're insane. They just swallow anything whole. It's
Do you know what's
unbelievable.
really fun? Over here we've got these things called, I mean, I had them inside because I'm obsessed with them, but they're called chili noodles. And they're like little, like crisps, I suppose, but they're noodles and they're chili and they're really hot and they're so good with like beer and yum.
I'd be into that.
If you throw one to a seagull, it will eat it and you watch it fucking suffer afterwards. I haven't got any animal activists on here because that's not a good thing to do. But it's actually really funny, and they start like shaking their heads, and they're going into the water, and they're trying to drink water.
Amazing.
So it's actually
so funny.
spicy then. It's not like white people spicy that we have in various parts of the state where it's like this is super hot, but actually it's not at all.
It's actually spiky and spicy. When we went camping one time, and our friends had these pickled onions, and they were like a chili pickled onion, and these ducks kept coming to us, and we were like, go away. So he threw one of these onions to the duck. Oh my god, it was so funny. I mean, not good, but was funny.
Do not do this at home.
Do not try.
We're not condoning feeding birds really spicy food.
So yeah, so we were just doing a bit of an experiment, and we know what not to do.
Exactly.
It was a lesson for the kids. So yeah, it's funny.
So is a Tim Tam Slam real or no?
Is that when you suck the cup of tea through it?
Yeah.
I suppose I don't drink cups of tea. Maybe that people would do that. I mean, it's the same as a penguin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which I fucking love. It's so good.
You're a coffee drinker, aren't you?
Yeah, me too.
I love coffee, but subconsciously I've gone down to one coffee a day. I'm not really sure what that's all about, but it's just really useful.
Oh, that's good.
You use this information for you. So yeah, I drink herbal tea. I don't drink black tea.
Yeah, that might not be good with a penguin or a Tim Tam, but
No.
I've had about 6 cups of coffee already. Part of it is probably because I'm a little hungover, but yeah, I love coffee as well, and tea's fine. I don't mind it. I don't drink it as much.
Love
as I
tea
used to. Yeah.
Cup of tea.
I like a coffee as well, but
So when you wake up in the morning, do you go for a cup of tea or go for a cup of coffee?
cup of tea.
No.
Yeah.
See, my eyes aren't even open. I'm going to the coffee machine and I'm making a cup of coffee.
Same.
I find a coffee first thing in the morning too jarring, like it's too bitter and it's too strong.
Oh,
I need a little cup of tea to warm me up.
Gemma, you need to grow up. Coffee is what you need in the morning.
You're an adult woman.
Because I can't have too much coffee because I get like the jitters and heart palpitations.
I love that. It's my favorite. Yeah. I'm like, I'm shaking now. Yep.
I can never have more than 2 coffees because I start getting a headache and stuff. But yeah, one literally as the second I wake up, I am getting up and I'm making a coffee straight away.
Crazy. You absolute nutcases. So Travis has never been to England, right? Or am I allowed to say his name?
You can say his name. Travis! he was about to take the dog for a walk. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm going into the van." And he's like, "Why?" I was like, "So I'm doing that podcast." He's like, "That's fucking awkward."
Rude. Clearly, he hasn't listened. We're amazing and internationally known. So
he doesn't do. I mean, I don't do this is because I obviously know you guys, but I do not do small talk with people. So I am one of the mums in the playground that will just like, I have resting bitch face. Do not approach me. I don't like. I want to look like a rude ass bitch because I don't want you to come and see. Don't talk to me. Like, I'm just here to pick up my kid and leave. Anyway, so Travis is it's a bit like that as well. And I'm like, but it's not. It's it's Gemma. And he's like, nah, fucking awkward. No, what wasn't Gemma going to say before about Travis?
Oh yeah, he's never been to England and never seen where you lived.
No, never. Do you know what? I really, really do want to come, but
what do you think he'd make of it?
I think he would like it. I mean, England's beautiful, like, and I think so. Odin, my youngest, is really into like history and Henry VIII and stuff. So I think he would really love going to all the castles and seeing all of that. I used to think Lily would love that, but now I think she's missed the boat. So he's trying to time it right for all three of them because, yeah, that's hard, man.
So you've got 3 kids, and you've got, your eldest who's a teenager who would hate anything that we very cool, not even that old adults think is cool, right? So that's the other thing. But you've got a youngest who's maybe a little bit more into like history and all of that, which England's definitely got. Like, I don't know how many times I had to go to a castle when I was coming over. I'm like, enough castles, please. But we just don't have the same history in the US. Our oldest shit's like 400 years old, so it's not even that old.
I think it's beautiful. I'd love to bring the kids. I mean, yeah, and Arlo, my middle boy, he's is he 11 or 12? I think he's 12 now. He's just turned 12. Fuck. It's hard. I can't think of his age. And let's edit that out because I need to look like a good mum. So he'd be cool. Odin would love it. Lily doesn't like anything at the moment. Oops, that's my table. And doesn't like anything at the moment. So yeah, it's hard. I mean, I do want to come. Maybe I should bite the bullet, book a ticket, and just come over.
Yeah, it'd be difficult. I mean, we could show Lily like where we used to get drunk.
She doesn't need any ideas of that sort of behavior. Thank you very much.
She would also think it's really lame. She'd be like, "You just got drunk in a field? Cool, guys."
What, you just hung out at
least like watch TikTok first?
See, do you know what? That's another thing for like misconceptions or like, the differences in UK. So yeah, obviously when we were growing up, we'd hang out at the skate park and we'd go to people's, would hang out in a car park and stuff, which was so fun. But here, Lily spends her whole weekends, this big group, then they all go down to the beach and just hang at the beach all day. That's pretty cool. Like, I'm glad she's doing that and not anything else.
That's it. I think the conception that Aussies are very beach orientated people is correct. Like,
well, why wouldn't you be if you? I mean, exactly. I would. I think that's true. Like California, people just hang out on the beaches because it's beautiful. Why wouldn't you?
Whereas here we hang out in car parks, mate.
Car parks and like skate parks and
public toilets.
I think we've had a few public, and there's many other places that I shall not name. But yeah, I think people that don't like the beach over here are very miserable and they stay inside for 3 months of the year in the aircon. And they're
really.
What's
the fucking point in living in the sun if you're not in it?
It's wasted on them.
Yeah.
So I like the sun, but I also don't want it to touch me.
What do you mean you don't want it to touch you?
I burn easy. I fear skin cancer, and so I'm always like covered. I try to cover myself. I also, I think if you listen to the podcast, you've heard me talk about how I don't like to not have clothes on my body. So I would wear as many clothes as I like possibly could, but then but then I'd be really hot, and that sucks too. So
yeah, this isn't the place for you, I don't think. To be fair though, our skin cancer, like melanoma, is through the roof in Australia and especially with young girls and stuff. So my kids don't burn. Very rarely do they burn. So I'm like, I have to remember to put sun cream on them. But then I forget, and then they don't get burned, and then I think, oh well, they didn't burn. But it's so dangerous. There was so many. I say to Lily when she goes to the beach, have you got your sun cream? She's like, yes, Mum. She doesn't. But it is, and as I'm getting older, I'm getting more scared of the sun, but you can't avoid it. I mean, you've just got to make sure you're wearing sun cream and hat and sunnies. And
yeah, that's it. I remember when I came over, because I'm not one for burning either, or I wasn't then. I am now, I'm older. My skin's given up. But I remember getting super fucking burnt. Do you remember we went down to a beach and got some pasties in the morning when the sun was at its lowest, and we sat there for like 10 fucking minutes and I got really burnt. I think it's because you don't have an ozone.
Yeah, I think it's proximity to the sun too, and I get it. It's always sunny. It would be easy to forget to put it on. I mean, I put on sunscreen every day, even if I don't go outside. But the reality is like you have to apply it a lot.
But that means you're going to look like 20 when you're 50 because the sun ages. If you wear sun creams, it's so good for you.
That's what I was going to suggest you tell your child, because at some point she's going to be real mad that she has to go get moles removed or that her skin looks like leather.
But then she'll just say, I'll just get a facelift. Like, she's got an answer for everything. So she's invincible.
Oh, God. I'm going to stump her. If I ever meet her, I'm going to stump her with something. I know I am.
Let's meet back here in 40 years with Lily looking 90.
Yeah.
And I'll be like, to look older than you.
You look older than me, and I'm way older than you. Huh?
But being sunburnt sucks, man. I just think of John when John comes out here.
Yeah.
Oh, poor Keefy.
Mate, he was blistering and peeling, wasn't he?
He would put sun cream on. We're like, John, you're burning. He's like, I've just put sun cream on. I'm like, put some more on because you are red raw.
Don't cover him, poor dude.
Like a fucking lobster. Oh, good times.
So, do you have what are like stereotypes that you in Australia or Australians might have about Americans? I'm just curious. Because I heard from the French that we're just all fat. That's basically what they said to us.
Oh, you are?
Yeah. Just like when we think of Americans, you just think fat.
So when I say this, it's not coming from me. I don't.
Oh no, you won't offend me. Don't worry. I probably will agree with it.
So I think people like the general consensus is just Americans are just stupid.
Yep.
Stupid. And then if something stupid happens, or we're like, stop watching that American shit, like your brain cells.
Yep. Yep.
There's a lot of and that comes from like if Odin's sitting on his iPad and he's the youngest and he's looking at YouTube and it's just shit and it's all American and I'm just like, fucking turn that shit off.
Yeah. Does he watch unboxing videos? Well, I'm very smart, but I also just remember I'm now Finnish, so.
Oh yeah, you've converted.
Yeah. But it's true. I mean, I think we can say that there's probably groups of people in each country culture that just like are really poor representations. They do not make us look good.
Yeah,
but
of course.
I mean, we had to look at who our president was for 4 years. So
do you know what?
Yeah.
There's quite a few Trump supporters out here, actually, which is scary.
I'm curious to know, it's kind of related, like red flags for you when you're dating someone, even if they're like, we're not talking necessarily about abuse situations, but what was dating like? Got any funny stories about that? Or like how it's different maybe down there, or any kind of funny relationship stories you can share?
No, because I met Travis when I was at school here. So we have been together for, I think, nearly 17 years now.
On that. Nice.
There's funny stories, I suppose, when we first got together with like his family and stuff, but I don't think I should really share it publicly. But I think at the time they didn't think we were like, I didn't think we were that serious. And it's like, whoopsie, I'm pregnant. This is either a thing or it's not. And it turned out it was. And so, no, I don't really have any funny... I got some, like, back in the UK when... Do you remember... I'm not going to say their names, but do you remember that particular group? And that one time and, like...
Say it and I'll cut it out.
Yeah, she can cut it out.
Do you remember...
Leak it.
I can't remember his last name. That yes, yes. Oh my god, yes! And I remember, and I don't know. There was these three boys, and we like just they didn't go to our school or anything. We just like look at them, and we would just like follow them around everywhere. They're at the shop. Oh, we're at the same shop. And then I remember one time I was asleep in the lounge room, and my dad was at my house, which was weird because it's not very likely he was there. And they knocked on the door of my front door and asked if I was in, and I was asleep. And then my dad woke me up and was like, "Oh, I've just had some boys knock at the door for you." And I was like, "Oh my god, who was it?" And then we wrote them a letter, and we went and we knew where he lived because we were stalkers. And we wrote a letter with like my mobile number, and we put it on his front door and then left again. And it was at the time, have you seen all these memes when there's a mobile phone next to a radio and it goes, and a message is coming? And I was like, oh my God, my phone. I looked at it and he sent me a message, and I have never said, oh my God, so many times. Like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
What do I do? What do I do? Can you see me right now?
Yeah. And I think that's when I think Chaz was mates with them, hey?
Yeah, because they went to the same school as him.
Yes. And we were like, hey,
yeah,
we like someone that you know. Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's probably as funny as my dating stories go, to be honest.
We were quite stalky with those two.
Sounds like I was absolutely, we were obsessed.
We were obsessed. Yeah.
Unhealthily obsessed. But then once we got their attention and we did what we did, it was like, meh, chase is over.
No interested.
You're not fun now. Yeah. Next.
On to the next.
Oh God, that's so embarrassing.
So many things. I remember being called at school Jenny Hiscox's sister, and we were like the older boys. It was so good.
Yeah.
There was like a particular. Do you know what? Like I don't like saying this because I don't want to be like, oh, up myself, because I'm not like that at all. But I feel like most people that we sort of like put ourselves forward for them, they would come to us eventually.
Yeah, but that's because you were fit as fuck. Like,
no, oh my God, no way. I was looking back at photos and I was like, oh my God, seriously, what were people thinking? And I remember I used to have like one of my year 11 classes at Beacon. I had to go into the sixth form room, had to walk up the stairs, and I knew the time I was walking up, all my sister's mates were walking down, and they were like, hello, Jenny Hiscox's sister, and I was like, hi. I was so, it's probably quite embarrassing. There are embarrassing times too, because I'm sure our stalking thing, I'm sure they didn't like.
I'm sure they didn't mind
most of the time, but I think being allowed in the pubs at 13, 14 definitely helped, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, good times. But
now I'm just boring, and I'm married with 3 children, and I have been for the last. We've been married for 10 years, and we've been together for 17, I think. So yeah, we're just an old married couple now.
Oh, you're cute though. Still really good looking. Which is like
you're still really good looking despite being an old married couple.
It must be all the Botox. I don't know. Is that a thing over there? Do you guys inject your heads?
Absolutely, we do.
You do.
I've gotten Botox before. I fucking love it.
Oh my God, I love it. I got some not long ago, and Travis looks at me. He's like, "Are you supposed to be frowning or are you smiling?" I was like, "I just can't frown."
It's not that bad. Okay.
I wish I couldn't frown. Right, I'm gonna get some.
You will love it. You will love it.
It's so good, and it's even better. So when over here, the stuff that they use, it takes probably about 3-4 weeks before it really kicks in. So you get it done and you go home and you start frowning. You're like, oh my God, I can frown. And then one day you'll wake up, you'll forget,
and
you'll go to frown. And I'll be like, Travis, am I frowning? And he's like, I can't see. I'm like, yes, it's working.
Yep. So I actually got some. I'd only maybe do it once or twice a year. But every time I'm just like, it feels weird. You can't move. You think you are, but it's so worth it when like my lines in the middle basically disappeared. I was like, yes, this is the best.
So good.
It's so bad.
So good. Especially when it's sunny. and you think that you're squinting, but you're squinting and the sun's not hurting your eyes, but you have no lines. That's the best. I mean, I probably look awful to other people around me, but I'm like, no lines and squinting. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm frozen in time.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of the sun, you ready for an Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole? You know you are, baby.
Okay, I've got a relevant one to our conversation. Am I the asshole for not letting my daughter go to a birthday party because she lied about putting on sunscreen?
Oh, I feel
Okay. Very relevant, isn't it? I, 33, have a daughter who's 10, who's very pale. She's a ginger, if that's any indication, and she was invited to a swimming party by her classmate. I asked her if she put sunscreen on, and she said she did, but I had a feeling that she was lying. So I asked her more questions about it, which just led to more lying. I put it on upstairs, I put it on in the car, etc. Which really upset me because she has a history of lying. I've talked to her several times throughout maybe the last 3 years about how I don't care if she does something bad, she just shouldn't lie. Last week, she lied about something related to school, and I talked to her again about not lying. This kid lies all the time. This time when she lied, I decided to actually punish her by not letting her go to the party. I feel really bad about it, but at the same time, I feel like she doesn't take me seriously because I never really punish her. But she also thinks it's better to lie so that she doesn't get punished. I don't feel like I'm that harsh because the worst thing I've ever done was take her phone away for a day. I think I'm the asshole because I feel like it's such a small lie, but at the same time, I feel like lying about small things will eventually turn into lying about big things. So, am I the asshole for not letting my daughter go to the swim party, for lying about wearing sunscreen? Thoughts?
Claire, you go first.
I don't think she's an asshole at all. I'm really big on lying and being deceived. I tell my kids all the time, just be honest. You might get in trouble for whatever you've done, but it will not be half as bad if you tell the truth. Like, I'm all about, especially with Lily now. I mean, I don't think she's going to listen to this. I won't tell her about it because she doesn't want me to say anything. She stayed at a friend's house last weekend, and long story short, Lily is generally a really good girl. She's very honest. Like, she tells me everything about her friends and stuff because I think my reaction is pretty cool, calm and collected. And so I thought she was honest. And then I found out she stayed at a friend's house the next day, and I just had an inkling. No, actually, I'll tell you, mother's intuition. I woke up at 2:00 in the morning the night she was away.
I woke up
and I was like, something is not right. It's something to do with Lily, and it's something to do with this girl she's staying, which I don't usually like her hanging out with. I had like a pain in my tummy. I almost fucking rang her just to see if she was okay, but I was like, no, I think she's okay. Like, there's, I don't think she would sneak out or anything like that. Next day, fast forward a few hours, I was looking through her phone, her photos, and she had taken photos at 1:30 in the morning and 2:30 in the morning, and she had fucking snuck out of her friend's house. And it wasn't the fact she had snuck out. It was the fact she was out in the streets at 2:00 in the morning, but it was more so the lying. Like, that really, I was genuinely upset with her for lying to me because when I picked her up next day, I'm like, oh, how was your night? She goes, yeah, good. We just watched movies. And I was like, oh. So I reckon if you're going to do it, you need to stick to your guns and follow through. Ever since the kids were little, I'm like, if you throw sand again, we're going to go home. They would throw sand again. I'm like, fuck, now I've got to go home. So I don't think she's asshole at all. If your kids lie, you have to punish them, but you also need to let them know that you're there for them if they tell the truth, because kids, they lie. I mean, how many times did I say to Mum when I was growing up, oh, it's so-and-so's birthday, going to have $20 to buy them a birthday present, and it's going straight on fags and alcohol.
Yep.
But I think at the end of the day, parents, they just know. They just know when there's something not right. Yeah.
Weird. Yeah, I agree. I don't think she's an asshole. I think you got to punish kids somehow, or they're going to walk all over you.
I know. And that's a really fine line. Like, I try and be... Lily Travis is always like, you want to be Lily's friend, you don't want to be a mother. And like, we don't want to be a mother, but you two want. I hate conflict. And I think because she's the only girl, it's a really fine line to being like, oh, matey, you know, like a really relaxed relationship. And like, nah, you're being a little fucking bitch at the moment, and I'm going to take your phone off you, and you need some respect. So yeah, I feel like I'm quite consistent, but it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah, I can imagine it is. And the thing is, she's just going through her teenage years.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all remember what we were like at that age. And, you know,
I messaged my friend today. Yeah. Well, no, she hasn't said I hate you, but she definitely has said it under her breath. And I don't want her to say that. She doesn't hug me anymore. I'm like, Lily, I just miss you. Just give me a hug. And she's like, don't touch me. And I thought I was quite a cool mum, but clearly not.
Yeah, you are a cool mum, but she will. Yeah. Give her a few years.
It'll I mean, think about your relationship with your mom, like you said, all the things that, you know, we did as a teenager, and how it's kind of like, I have a really good close relationship with my mom now, and I think she's like, it was worth it. All of the shit that you put me through is now worth it because of the relationship we have. But yeah, it's just, I think I agree with you both. This person's not the asshole, because you have to disincentivize the behavior you don't want, which means sometimes it's a small thing, but you don't get to go to the birthday party because I've told you 1 million times about lying, and you have to incentivize the good behavior, which is I want you to be honest with me, even if it's something you think you're going to get in trouble for, I'm not going to like, but I will show you that if you're honest, it will be better for you, you know? And that might mean less harsh punishment, or, you know, maybe like you're able to react in a different way. But I think not letting this kid go to the birthday party is 100% the right response if you feel like your kid's not listening to you and not respecting you and not setting your ground rules. It sucks because that kid's got to be mad, real mad. Yeah. But that kid, she's also going to think twice about lying now.
I even hate taking Lily's phone off her, because I know she's missing out on what her mates are talking about. And it's really hard, and I feel so shit for taking her and excluding her from that. But at the end of the day, don't fucking lie. If you lie, you get in trouble twice. I always say, you know, you get in trouble for lying, and then when the thing you did, if you're just honest, then we can hash it out. And easier said than done.
Had she told you, well, you know, we went out, snuck out, and, you know, like this happened, you probably would have been like, well, thanks for being honest. And I kind of you know, you already know how I feel about this friend. And I just want you to know, like, it's going to be really hard for me to like feel okay when you're hanging out with this person because of that kind of behavior, you know, and then you have to figure out like how to establish that. Yeah.
Yeah. If I'd picked her in the morning, I said, hey, Lily, what did you do last night? She goes, Mom, I did. I'm so sorry. I fucked up. Hopefully she didn't say fucked up. I messed up, and we went out last night. You know, and it would have been so much better. But instead, I was like adding all these punishments just to try and make a thing. And I got my mum works at one of the prisons over here, and she was on the phone to her, and she was telling her all the sort of people that are out at night time, and it just like blew up. And she's like, it's not even that deep. Nothing even happened. I'm like, but it could have done.
I thought you were about to say I had her talk to my mom, who was like, I'm going to put you in jail. Take you to the prison and you can see what it's like.
No, I did say to her, I'm like, you're lucky the cop weren't out, because if they'd seen 2 young blonde girls on an electric scooter at 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm hoping they would have stopped you and said, where are you? Anyway, what's done is done. But yes, she's not an asshole for teaching her child not to lie, I don't think.
Agreed.
Nice
one. Well, problem solved.
We sorted that one out. Also, you should wear sunscreen, as we've discussed.
And Botox is great. And Australia sounds really fun. And maybe I need to suck up the flight situation and come and go visit sometime. But, you know, you should come. We should all meet up somewhere. Maybe we could all meet up in the UK or somewhere cool in America, or we could go to Australia.
What would the flight be from like where you are, Kate, to here?
Let me just check that out real quick.
Fucking long.
It would be long, yeah.
So my brother actually went to Australia not too long ago, and I think and he's in Denver. So I think they went Denver to California, California to Japan, Japan to Australia. I think is what the flight path was. So, and it was like, I think probably full 24 hours of travel, maybe. Where do you live in Australia, Claire?
I'm in Perth, so Western Australia.
Okay. So Minneapolis to Perth. 1 day and 15 hours is one flight. Oh, wait. No, that's when I arrive, I think. But yeah, it would be like if I were to leave today, I would get there. This says 38 hours and 38-minute flight.
Fuck that.
Travel. Yeah. Shit.
That's a long time. Especially if you have to get a flight to somewhere else or somewhere else. So at least when you go to UK, you would just stop in Dubai and then come over.
Yeah.
I think there is a direct flight as well now.
Yeah, my dad's done that. He reckons it was actually really good. But by the time you're on the flight, you just sort of, you don't not thinking, okay, I've only got 10 hours until I get to Dubai. You just, you don't forget about it, but you're just like, fuck, I'm here now. I might as well just.
That's it. And that's the worst part is getting off the plane after 9 hours and then having to get back on a fucking plane and do another stretch. That's
so interestingly, I would have to go to Los Angeles and then Los Angeles to Sydney and then Sydney to Perth.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's stupid.
Yeah. So at least I get to Australia after pretty quickly.
Sydney's pretty cool. Why don't we all meet in Sydney? And then that's one less thing for you. It's only. Do you know what? That's one thing. Sorry, another thing going way back to differences between UK and Australia. UK, at least you can jump on a flight and you can be in a different country in just a couple of hours. Whereas here, when we go to Exmouth, we usually drive and it's like a 14-hour drive and we're still in WA. Like we're still there.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, we went over we did like a kids, us and our friends did a kids-free holiday to Broome. Oh, it was so good with our children. Still in WA, but it's like a 2.5-hour flight. And that's still in Perth. It's still in WA, like not even like Queensland or anything like that.
Yeah, you're still in the same state.
Yeah.
So I guess, like we, if I took a 14-hour road trip, I could probably get, I don't know, where do you think we could get to? Like Texas, maybe?
Yeah.
I'm looking at my husband. I think.
All right. Well, I'm talking to you.
Yeah. You wouldn't know. But I have done a road trip. I've driven to Maine, which we had 2 overnights. But the actual drive time was probably like 20 hours. Driven to Texas. We only had to stay overnight once before we got there. But yeah, we end up in different states, but it's still the same country, which is a little bonkers sometimes because I remember I drove to Denver once and Nigel was like, that's like the whole of England. You just drove like the whole of England.
That's it. In that time, I could probably drive across the whole of Europe.
Yeah.
And go into like 20 different countries.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Thank you for joining us too. I know it was a bit of a
Thanks for having me.
Mission.
Exciting.
Yeah. Do it again.
I look forward to hearing the end product. Although I fucking hate the sound of my voice. Travis is like, why would you do that if you don't like your voice? I'm like, I don't know, actually. It's probably just to see you, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks.
You'll get over it. My cousin Levi struggled with that too. I still hate the sound of my voice, but it's not the thing I focus on anymore when I into the playback.
You get over it quickly. Well, you're falling down an hole. Well, yeah, thanks so much for coming on, Claire.
All right, thanks for having me.
It's been great.
I'm going to go and enjoy my nice, clean, freshly smelling house and get ready for work tomorrow.
Do it. If any of our listeners at home have questions for Claire about what it's like in Oz, life in Oz, talk shit to us at gmail.com. Check us out on social media. TSYB Pod, Twitter, Instagram,
all of that.
TikTok, all of the things.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Claire. It's been a pleasure.
Bye. Bye.